So it occurred to me the other day that I was having a conversation with a friend and I was describing a little bit about the process that I'm going through with my clients currently. And they were reflecting back to me just such a clear gap of misunderstanding of what I was talking about in my experience through healing with the heart center that you all know on this channel, and what they were interpreting what I was saying, so much that it made me think, gosh, I really should do a video about this to help clarify what it actually is that I'm saying when I say healing through the heart center. So those of you new, my name's Thomas Garbarino. This channel is devoted to teaching you how to heal you, especially those of you that have been on the healing journey, chronic illness, and you've tried all that Western medicine, Eastern medicine, naturopathic medicine. Maybe you've even tried to do some things that maybe are outside the box, but you're still not getting momentum in your healing and you're not getting results. So what I found through my own experience, which I'll share here, is that once we open up the magnifier of our energy, the heart center, a lot of the healing happens relatively quickly. And I want to share with you how to do that. So if you're new, go ahead and subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and let me know in the comments below what's going on with you and how we can best assist you here on this channel. So I think, like a lot of you that have tuned in, I suffered tremendously with a chronic illness for a good chunk of my adult life. And oh man, it was just debilitating most days. And there was so much fear, so much anxiety woven with it. And the hard part, maybe this resonates with you, is that when I did turn to certain medicines like Western medicine, naturopathic medicine, the supplements, what I often found was that it made my condition worse. It made me feel worse. And there I was spending all this money and time to try to do that, right? Chinese medicine, on the other hand, was one of the only few that really got me. And hence, that's why I became a Chinese medicine practitioner. And really, what I found through my journey of being not only healed, but also being a practitioner of Chinese medicine, is that at a certain point, I noticed that when I was able to drop into a certain space, really in my heart center, and I created an environment where people could come in and feel so deeply, profoundly relaxed, where they were able to shift out of themselves and come to the present moment, they also were able to drop into their heart space. And then what happened was miraculous. Healings started occurring on this table. Not exactly this table, but a table similar like this. And then it got me really curious to really lean in even more. What is happening when, even before, let's say I put in the acupuncture needles or I do any kind of body work, there was a connection. And in that connection, it was an invitation that I was giving to all my clients. And it allowed us to go out of space and time, out of thoughts, out of emotions, out of the narrative that we all believe about ourselves, to come back to a complete neutral state. And in that neutral state, there was a profound relaxation. And then, as I welcome them deeper into feeling it, I say that in capital letters, right? Because that's really the key that helps awaken and initiate the heart center. The more we get this member out of the way and we allow the feeling to take over, where we sense, where we surrender to it essentially in enough way that it pulls us deeper into an experience of ourselves that most of us aren't conscious of each and every day. Well, as this started to happen more and more with my clients, then I started to do this virtual with clients as well, seeing if I could engage in some dialogue. And I had other tools that I worked with. I used IFS parts work, I used purpose work, I used some of my own inner child understanding, and the combination of that language with really centering from the heart is what started to allow my clients to go into a space of inquiry where we can get so fixated, right, in the narrative of what we are and what our experience is from our past, right? So once I was able to help them see the illusion of that, to allow their nervous system to release that, to take a breath into that, right? Because as the diaphragm releases, it allows this whole vagus nerve to relax and allow the nervous system to shift out of fight or flight and freeze into rest, digest, and heal. This is all the language that helps us start to knock on the heart center. So all of that is really preparation and really conditions that are required for us to be able to start to open up our heart center. And so my job as a facilitator was really just helping all these clients get those conditions to get themselves really out of the way. That's the big part. And it may be still for you, like, what are you holding on to in your life? What are you holding on to around the story around your chronic illness, your autoimmune, your cancer? What have you been fed by information by our society, from, yes, even the medical industry, maybe from friends or close loved ones that are projecting fear onto your situation, that kind of ramp up this story of fear and anxiety? Well, think of this as an opportunity for you to step back from that. Think of it as a way in which, okay, so I've been believing this, I've been telling myself this, I've even been speaking this out into the world to all my relations about my situation. Fine, but it's still not you. It's only a layer that we have believed about ourselves. So to enter into the heart center, to open ourselves up, not just thinking about feeling it, not just thinking about being more loving or compassionate or forgiving, but actually stepping away from our self and all that we believe about ourselves. Really, the death of the ego, you could say. But really, I hesitate to say that because it's a lot more natural than that. Let me share with you one of my experiences when I first realized this. I had this awakening. It was, my son was it was about 7 or 8 years ago. And it was summertime, and I was playing soccer with my son and my nephew. And we were getting very aggressive. And my nephew accidentally, going for a ball, dove into my knee. And my knee hyperextended in a way that it tore my quadricep tendon. And oh my God, it swelled up as huge as the soccer ball itself. And I was in some of the worst pain of my life. I've had lots of pain in my life, but the swelling was so much, it was pinching on all the nerves, and just like if someone just breathed on my knee, it was so painful. Anyway, went to the doctor, they pulled out fluid, they told me I needed surgery. And at that time, I was starting this whole journey that I'm sharing with you. And I was like, you know what? This is my rubber meets the road. This is where I've been preaching this. I've been telling my clients this. I need to walk this journey myself. And so what I did was I took time every day, because I couldn't do anything that I used to. I was in crutches and I couldn't move around. And so I sat on our front porch at that time. And oh my gosh, my wife was pregnant and was just about to have her second child, and she was just so livid that I had got injured right at this time when she actually needed me most. So that was a whole other situation that needed healing. But what happened was I would literally just spend time on my front porch in nature. First, just listening to the birds, watching the trees and the breeze, the sky, the clouds, just taking in nature. And those of you who spend a lot of time in nature know this. If you give yourself over to nature, an interesting thing will happen. It'll start to quiet you down. It'll start to bring you into a natural state of stillness. And so as I started to do that, it just felt really natural to just keep going. And so I just noticed when my mind would drift off into some, reel of thoughts about something or an old memory. And then I was able to separate them and see, oh, wait, there's this other space of stillness, of quietness that I can drop into. And I see now that the thoughts and the emotions and the memories are simply just a distraction or interference to that. And so every day I would do this. And then finally, I think by the third day, I dropped into this profound peace. And that peace just kept taking me deeper into this region of my body, my heart center. And it just took me farther and farther back. And I just felt more waves of profound peace, more waves of love, of connection that I've never felt before. And it opened me up to new possibilities and new realities about what I had already kind of perceived about the world and who I was. And it wasn't very long after that, that's when the miraculous happened. That's when my knee actually healed. So I just absorbed myself into this space, which really is the present moment in such a profound way that my body knew how to correct itself. It already knew how to do it. I just had to get out of the way. By getting out of the way, I was moving myself. I was literally distancing all that I have created as me, right? All those thoughts, all those memories, all those emotions and stories and narratives. I mean, I could have spent all those days just complaining and getting upset at myself for having this injury or blaming somebody, right? You can get into that spiral, right? And this is so common for all of us on the healing journey. But it takes that open mind and awareness to recognize, oh, I've been following this aspect of my mind that actually isn't helping me. And what I need to do is step back from that. And that's what I did. And that's what I consistently do with my clients each and every day, is helping you step back, so much so that you initially start feeling things, sometimes not so comfortable, right? You start feeling, like I remember the heart center, like, oh, there was a lot of tension and pain and almost like a bruise feeling there initially. But as I stayed with it, as I breathed into it, and I allowed myself to just feel it, to be it, to experience it, to fully go into it, it like took me into a greater version of myself. And in that version of myself, I was completely healed. I was the best self. I was happy. I was, as I said, connected. And I said, like, oh man, you could just like insult me 100 times and it would just not stick, you know? It felt so good. And I just wanted to understand this more. And so healing from the heart center is really taking the journey from the head to the heart. And head meaning the construct that we have created around ourselves, the belief of the false self, right? That we are this person, we are this thing of personality, right? That has all these responsibilities and things. In some way, yes, that's true, but it isn't the totality of you. You are far greater than that. And once we take that shift, then your heart's online and you will feel it. You will experience it in a way, because immediately you'll feel in your nervous system shift out of that stress response and into rest digest. How do you know? Your digestive system will work better. You'll hear a lot of funny sounds down there. Your saliva, as I'm doing this, will change too. You'll feel a sweetness more in your saliva. But just overall, your nervous system will just feel a little bit more calm and centered. And then you just keep traversing that. You just keep following that thread. And literally your heart center will pull you into that experience. And then the healing energy that is naturally within you comes online. And then it's not about you doing it. It's, again, you getting out of the way. So nature, your natural state, does it for you. And that's when the miraculous happens. And I am just like, this is my calling to help you. I feel like I'm a heart-centered doula that wants to assist everyone that is suffering right now, really, truly in my heart. And I made a video down below with a link. I'd love for you to check it out and see if it resonates for you. And if you've listened to this video to this point, I say go for it. And we can tap into your source in your heart, the same way I have for not only myself, but many, many of my clients. And I'd love to share that with you. So go ahead and click that link down below, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, have a blessed day, and I look forward to seeing you again. Peace be with you.